Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today we'll be doing lesson number 18 of our Arabic alphabet series. So, without any further ado, let's begin with today's lesson. Today we'll be talking about the next two letters of the Arabic alphabets, Waw and Yaa. This is Waw and this is Yaa. Waw is the equivalent to the letter W. This means that Waw has the same sound as the letter W in the English language. Ya is equivalent to the letter Y. This means that the Ya has the same sound as the letter Y in the English language. Since the equivalence already exists, we will not be focusing on pronunciation because we already know the pronunciation of W and Ya, and that is the pronunciation of Waw and Ya respectively. The uses of Waw and Ya. Waw and Ya are Arabic letters, but they can be used in ways that other Arabic letters cannot be used. Let us look at these ways. The first is Waw and Ya can be used as a consonants. This is obvious. They are letters, they can be used as letters. This is when they have vowels, the short vowels, on top or underneath them. Remember the short vowels Fatha, Kasra, Dhamma? When these words have vowels, they can be used as consonants. Next, Waw and Ya is used as long vowels, just like Alif. So you have learned about Alif, right? Like how Fatha, it elongates Fatha. Just like that, Waw and Ya elongate the Dhamma and the Kasra respectively. Waw and Ya can be used as semi-vowels. The semi-vowel means a letter has sukoon, i.e. the Waw or the Ya has sukoon, but the short vowel does not go with the long vowel. For example, if Ya has a sukoon, but the word before it has fatha. It doesn't have the kasra, it has fatha. We'll learn about this in detail in the next slides. Just for now, all we need to know is that it is used as consonant. This is the most obvious, like all letters can be used as consonants in Arabic language. And then they have two other special uses that's only special for Waw and Ya. So we're going to look at each of them in detail. The long vowels. The long vowels we already know it is Alif, Waw and Ya. We got to know that Waw and Ya can be used as long vowels. Now what does this mean? This happens when they are sakin and the short vowel of the letter matches with them. So this happens if the Waw has Dhamma before it or if the Ya has Kasra before it. In that case the Waw will stretch the Dhamma. So instead of being U, it will become U if it has a Waw sakin. And the Ya will stretch the Kasra. So instead of being E, it will become E. This is also how Alif stretches the Fatha just before it. So Alif, Waw and Ya are the three long vowels in the Arabic alphabets. So just like Alif stretches the Fatha, Waw will stretch the Dhamma before it. And Ya can stretch the Kasra before it. So now we know all the short vowels, Fatha, Dhamma, Kasra, and now we have these long vowels that will stretch each of them. Alif will stretch the Fatha, Waw will stretch the Dhamma, and the Ya will stretch the Kasra. Topic here, Arabic semi-vowels. Arabic semi-vowels are only two, and they can be only in two types. First is Waw, and the second is Ya. Arabic has these two semi-vowels. First, what are semi-vowels? We learned that semi-vowels are letters which do not have the corresponding short vowels before it. So for example, over here we can see that there is Waw sakin, but the letter before it has a fatha. We know that Waw goes with Dhamma. It doesn't go with fatha, it goes with Dhamma. But over here there is Waw with Dhamma. This is a semi-vowel. Similarly, there is Ya sakin and the word before it has a fatha. Do you notice that all of these only have fatha? They can't have other things. The only way the semi-vowels can happen is with a fatha. For example, you can see here that Arabic does not have these semi-vowels. So Arabic does not have kasra before waw or dhamma before ya. That doesn't happen. The only two types of semi-vowels that Arabic has is a fatha before ya or a fatha before a waw. And how this pronounced? This is pronounced as bay. Ba, fatha, ya, sukun, bay. You can hear there is a sound, ba, and then a ya sound, I, bay. Ba, fatha, waw, sukun, bow. There's a sound and then an o sound, bow. Bay, bow. These are how the semi-vowels look, and this is how semi-vowels pronounce. Now this doesn't have to be with ba, it can be with any letter. So if it starts fatha, it will be tau, or over here tai. If it is sa fatha, it will be sai, or over here sau. The ba is just an example. Now what is certain, what has to happen is that there is a fatha before it. A fatha before waw sakin or a fatha before ya sakin results in the Arabic semi-vowels. Got it? And they cannot be like this. They cannot have a kasra, they cannot have a dhamma before the ya, they cannot have the kasra before a waw. This doesn't happen. The only thing that happens is a fatha before a waw and a fatha before a ya. And this is pronounced the I sound, the bai, the tai, the kai, all of those. And this is pronounced the ow sound, bow, tau, sau, all of these with different letters. Got it? The four forms of waw and ya. We know the four forms are based on how the letter is placed in the word, right? So by itself, waw looks like this. In the beginning, waw has like this. In the middle like this, and in the end like this. We see that all of them, waw is very, very, very similar to the by itself version. There's literally no difference. And we also see that the waw does not connect to the letter after it. The letter after it is here, which means the waw is not connecting to it. It's not changing its form to connect to the word after it. This is because waw is one of the 5 letters. Do you remember the 5 letters that I told you that do not connect with the letter after it? It's alif, dal, zal, ra, za, and now waw. Let's write that down. The 5 letters that do not connect are alif, dal, zal, ra, za, and now we learned that the 6th one of them is waw. So there are actually 6 letters that do not connect with the letter after them. What are they? Alif, dal, zal, ra, za, and waw. Okay? Now for examples, we can write wada'a, wada'a. So there is waw and dal and ain. Waw fatha, wa, dal fatha, da, ain fatha, a, wada'a. And as you can see, waw does not connect with the dal. In the middle, we can tell iwad. This is iwad. We can put it as iwadu. Okay? So there's ain with a kasra, waw with a dhamma, with a fatha, and dad with a dhamma. And waw is not connecting with the dad because it's one of the letters that do not connect with the letter after it. And now for the last case, we can put wudu. Wudu actually has a waw before it and after it. And it's, you know what wudu is, obviously. When you pray salah, before you pray salah, you do this. Anyway, you can see that waw is connecting before it, but not after it. There's no other letter after, but it wouldn't connect, as we have seen here. So this is waw in the beginning, and this is waw at the end. And this is waw in the middle. Now let's look at ya. By itself, ya is like this. In the beginning and the middle, ya loses its loop and becomes like ba ta. You know ba ta beginnings? This is exactly that. And at the end, this is how ya looks. Also, one important point is that over here at the end, the ya will be below the line. So if there's a line like this on top, ya will always be below it. So let's imagine there's a letter like this. This is how it will be. There's a noon on top and then a ya below. This is how it will be. The ya will be below the line. The red line is the line, okay? The ya will be below the line. So for examples, we can say yarji'u. You know what yarji'u means? It means he's returning. Yarji'u. Then yuhitu. ولا يحيطون. Remember that? Ayatul Kursi. ولا يحيطون. This is ya. يحيط يحيط. Over here we can see that there is ya at the beginning and ya at the middle, and it looks exactly the same. And then there's ha and ta, obviously. And then at the end, kitabi, my book. The ya will go down. See, all the other letters are on top, but the ya is less, and the ya is below it. Not less, it's below it. So you can say kitabi, it's down. It's not on top, it's down. Notice about ya is, sometimes ya is written without its dots. Can you see out here there are two dots below it, but sometimes it can be written without the dots. This is actually not ya. This, although it looks like ya, it's actually not ya. This is called Alif Maksura. Now what is Alif Maksura? It is Alif in the form of ya. This can be seen in multiple names. For example, if I write Salma, it's a common name. Salma. Salma. The ending is not actually alif. The ending is a ya, and it's not ya, it's Alif Maksura. This ya, since it doesn't have dots, is called Alif Maksura, and we pronounce it just like alif. It's not Salmi, it's Salma. Why? Because this ya doesn't have dots, and this can only happen at the end of the word. Can you notice this is at the end? It's not at the beginning, it's not in the middle, it just happens on the end of the word, okay? So we need to keep in mind that when ya doesn't have a dot, it doesn't have there are two dots below it. It's actually Alif Maksura, and it's like alif. It's pronounced like alif. It's not Salmi, it's Salma. And yes, this is confusing. There's a lot confusing, especially to the new people. But it's actually convenient in Arabic grammar, which we'll be learning in the next course and not in this course. Importance of dots. I've told you this a billion times before. Dots are very important in the Arabic language. You literally have to memorize each and every dot, because you can see in the beginning and the middle version, the only difference between these letters are the numbers and the position of the dots. Okay, so if you see with ta and ya, it's the position of the dots. The number is same, there are two, but the position is different. But if you see, similarly, if you see with ba and noon, it is the number is same, 1, but the position is different. And if you see with ta and sa, it is a number. So that's why we need to learn every single number of every single dot and every single position in the Arabic alphabets. It's extremely important, and it's the only way of differentiation between many Arabic alphabets in the different forms. Okay, so learn the dots is extremely important, and also these are all the letters that look same. As you can see, in all Arabic language, these are the letters that look the most same in the middle and the beginning. So it's actually a really good place for you to just pause the video and literally just memorize every single one of them. Alright, so please learn the dots. It's extremely important, and I hope you do it perfectly. So you know the drill. I'm gonna be going through this twice. You're gonna listen to me once, and then you're gonna pause the video and try to do it yourself. Then you can come back to me and see if you have done it correctly or not. So let's get started. Bismillah. Mim kasra ya sukun mi. Dhaf alif za mi za. Nun fatha na mi za na. Ya fatha ya. Ain dhamma waw sukun. Ru ya'u. Qaf fatha qa. Ya'uqa. And also notice that these two words in these two words, the waw and the ya is acting like a long vowel, just like alif. It's elongating the kasra and it's elongating the dhamma, the ya and the waw. Okay, just notice that. Sin dhamma su. Waw alif wa. Suwa. Ain fatha. Ain fatha a. Suwa. Okay, this is really interesting. The waw actually has a fatha on top. It's not to be seen because there's an alif after it. If the alif comes after it, there's no need to have fatha, because we already know that it's the same. It can't be anything else. We already know that, right? So over here, even though it's looking like lamma, it's looking like it's going to become a long vowel, it's actually a consonant. Why? Because it has a fatha on top. How do we know it has a fatha on top? Because there's alif after it. If alif has sukoon, which means it's not having any other vowel, then that means the letter before it only has to have a fatha. That's certain. We already learned that before. So over here, the wow, even though it might look like a long vowel, it's actually acting like a consonant. And the real long vowel over here is alif. Just keep in mind when you're reading this, okay? Ya alif, ya mim fatha. Wow, this is a semi-vowel we learned about. Mau. See, over here it was bow, over here it's mau. Ya, mau. Then lamb, is this a ya? No, it's not a ya. Why is it not a ya? Because this ya, as you can see, has dots. But this ya doesn't. And if ya doesn't have a dot, what is called? Alif Maksura. And it's pronounced like alif. So this won't be mauli, it will be maula. Ya, maula. So we can see there was a semi-vowel and a ya practice. The Alif Maksura practice. Ya, maula. Oh, one more thing. Over here again, ya is acting like a consonant, even if there's no alif. I mean, even if there's no fatha, because there's a alif sakin after it. Alif sakin means alif which doesn't have any vowel on it. Okay, so over here, like this, these subtle things you need to understand. Okay, in Arabic language, these are these subtle things. Just over here, it cannot be anything else other than a consonant. Why? Because there's a fatha. I mean, there's a alif after it, which means there's a fatha on it. Okay, understand all this. So we had this practice, and then we had the semi-vowel practice, and we had the Alif Maksura practice. Ain, Fatha, A. Lam. Again, this doesn't have any dots. This means that it's not a ya, it's an alif in disguise, or Alif Maksura. And this will pronounce like it is alif, not ya. So la, ala. It won't be li, it will be la, ala. Mim, Fatha, Ya, Sukun. Again, what is this? This is a semi-vowel. My. Remember, by, like that, my. Mim, Dhamma, Waw, Sukun. Mu, my, mu. Noon, Fatha, Na. Maymuna. Ta, this ta marbuta. Ta, Fatha, ta. Maymunata. One more time. Mim, Kasra, Ya. Mi, ظا ألف ظا مي ظا نون فتحة نا مي ظانا يا فتحة يا عين ضمة واو سكون يعو قاف فتحة قا يعوقا سين ضمة سو واو ألف وا سوا عين فتحة ع سواع يا ألف يا ميم فتحة واو مو لام ألف مقصورة not يا ألف مقصورة مولى يا مولى عين فتحة ع لام ألف مكسورة لا على ميم فتحة يا سكون مي ميم ضمة واو سكون مو ميمو نون فتحة نا ميمونة تا مربوطة تا فتحة ميمونة. Alright, with that we completed the entire lesson for today, and I hope it was clear for you. I know there were a lot of new things like semi-vowels and Alif Maksura and all that, but if you repeatedly listen to it and practice it, you'll be able to identify each of them. I hope it was easy for you, and we'll see each other in the next video, inshallah.